thunder, not with tears, but with a quiet so sharp it cuts through every layer of strength. I've spent years building around the place where your memory sleeps. I breathe in the darkness as if it were something living, something ancient, something that knows the secrets I've never said aloud. And in that breath I feel it, the soft shift of a truth I keep pretending doesn't exist anymore. Your name, your voice, the echo of a moment that never learned how to stop echoing. It's strange how the heart remembers what the mind keeps trying to bury, how the body still flinches at the thought of a touch that hasn't existed in years, how a ghost, your ghost, can sit quietly beside me without ever making a sound. I close my eyes and the world falls away, leaving only the shape of you. Not the you the world knows, not the you who left, but the you who existed only in the dim hours when silence softened you enough to let me see the truth. You were always made of contradictions, a storm wrapped in gentleness, a wound pretending to be healed, a soul reaching for warmth with hands too afraid to hold anything that could burn. And I was the match you kept watching but never dared to strike. If the night opened its doors and you stepped through them now, I wonder, would I recognize the person you became, or only the ache you left behind? Would your eyes still carry that tremble, that quiet surrender you never admitted was fear? Would your voice still falter when honesty came too close for you to run? Maybe I wouldn't speak, maybe the silence would understand us better than we ever understood ourselves. Because some connections are meant to be questioned, they're meant to be felt. The way one feels, the weight of a memory that refuses to fade, no matter how gently you try to release it. The truth is, I'm not haunted by your leaving, I'm haunted by the version of me that existed only in the quiet comfort of your presence. The softness I became, the depth I discovered, the vulnerability I allowed, all because some part of you felt safe enough to awaken parts of me I didn't know were sleeping. Then I feel that old version of me stirring beneath the surface, calling out for something it knows will never return. But still it calls, softly, stubbornly, like a prayer whispered to a God that has already forgotten your name. Maybe one day you'll feel the same, make a slow just for a heartbeat and wonder how a soul you walked away from still holds a place inside your silence. And maybe then you'll understand that leaving doesn't erase meaning, it only changes its shape. While you were still close enough to hear it, you corners of my soul. You still Some nights don't arrive, they descend. They fall over you like a veil you didn't ask to wear, pressing their cold fingertips into the softest places you've tried to protect. And tonight, as the darkness sinks deeper into the hollows of my bones, I feel your memory unfold itself slowly inside my chest, like an old letter I swore I'd stop reading. I sit here in the faint glow of a dying lamp, watching shadows breathe on the walls around me. Slow, rhythmic, almost human. And in that dim, trembling light, I swear I see you. The outline of a moment, the ghost of a feeling, the quiet echo of a goodbye that never learned how to close the door. I exhale your name, not because I need you now, but because the silence won't allow me to pretend you were never here. Some truths linger even after the memory fades. Some loves stay warm long after the hands that held them have grown cold. I think about the night you slipped out of my story, how the world didn't break, how the sky didn't fall, how everything looked the same but nothing felt familiar anymore. It wasn't the leaving that hurt, it was the space you left behind. A space shaped so perfectly, like the version of you that only existed when the room was quiet enough for you to breathe honestly. If you were here now, if you stepped into this silence with your tired eyes and unsteady heart, I think the darkness itself would soften around you. I wouldn't ask where you've been, I wouldn't ask why you left, I wouldn't ask for a single piece of the closure I once begged the night to give me. I would just look at you long enough for the truth between us to rise again, slow and fragile, like dawn, unwilling to reveal itself. Because deep down I've always known you weren't the ending, you were the interruption between who I was and who I became after losing the quiet you used to bring me. The night grows heavier as the hours stretch thin, pulling memories from me I thought I buried in deeper graves. I feel them trembling now, your laughter that never reached your eyes, your silence that said more than your words ever knew how to, your presence that felt like standing close to a fire you were never sure would keep you warm or burn you alive. Everything a part of me holds on to you, the way the sea holds on to the moon, not because it wants to, but because it has learned there are some forces the soul cannot fight without breaking. Maybe one day you'll find yourself standing in front of a window on a night that feels familiar, an undefinable lake pressing lightly against your ribs. And maybe, just maybe, you'll think of me, not with longing, not with regret, but with the soft, painful recognition that some connections don't fade just because the people did. Until then, I sit here in the quietest part of the night, letting the darkness wrap itself around my truths like a confession, finally brave enough to be spoken. And I whisper into the silence the one thing I never had the courage to admit to you. I didn't want forever, I just wanted the version of you who didn't run when he felt something real. Some nights don't feel borrowed or broken or empty. They feel ancient, as if the darkness has been waiting centuries just to sit beside me and watch how my heart folds in on itself when your memory brushes past it. I sit here without a sound, as if silence were a fragile animal I'm afraid to startle. The room feels heavier than usual, as if the walls remember you more clearly than I do. Your breathing, your hesitation, the soft collapse of your voice when you were trying to pretend you weren't hurting. I run my fingers across the table, touching nothing, feeling everything. It's strange how absence can become a presence, how a ghost can take up more space than a living body ever could. You left the room long ago, but the room never learned how to let you go. Some nights I get angry at myself for still carrying you, not because I want to forget, but because I don't know what to do with a love that never learned how to live outside the quiet. Your memory sits across from me, not accusing, not apologizing, just existing softly, steadily, in the shape of everything we didn't say. If you came back now, if the door cracked open and your shadow stepped into the light, I wonder if we would even speak. Maybe we wouldn't have to. Maybe the silence would recognize us first. Two people who never mastered the art of goodbye. Two souls who always felt more like echoes than beginnings. I imagine your hands still trembling, still unsure of what to hold and what to release. I imagine your eyes still carrying storms you never let anyone see. And I imagine myself still choosing you, even though I know you never learned how to stay. But you're not here, only the night is, only the faint hum of a world that keeps spinning. Even when my heart feels like it's standing still, I close my eyes and let the quiet swallow me whole. Because sometimes the only way to survive the pain is to let it touch you without fighting back. Maybe you think I moved on, maybe you think was enough to burn the bridge. But love doesn't burn just because you walk away from it. Sometimes it smolders, quiet, persistent, waiting for the softest breath to glow again. And the truth is, I still think of you in the moments between moments, in the spaces where thought ends and feeling begins. I think of you in the soft collapse of dusk, in the trembling birth of dawn, in the hollow sound of a heart trying to beat around a void. Maybe one day you'll feel the same tug, the same ache, the same uninvited memory pressing lightly against your ribs. And maybe then you'll understand that some souls are not lost, they are simply wandering in the wrong direction. Until then I sit with this night, my oldest confidant, my quiet witness, and I whisper a truth that feels heavier than grief, but lighter than hope. You are gone, but you are not gone from me, not from the part that remembers softness as something sacred, not from the place where I still keep your name like a candle. I'm too afraid to let die. Some nights don't feel like moments, they feel like lifetimes compressed into a single breath. Tonight, the darkness sits across from me like an old friend turned stranger, watching quietly as I peel back the layers of a heart that never learned how to stop remembering you. I don't move, even my breathing is careful, as if the air itself might shatter the fragile balance between the silence in this room and the silence you left inside me. There's a heaviness around my ribs, not pain, not longing, just a quiet reminder that something once lived here and never fully died. Your memory doesn't arrive loudly, it slips in like a shadow crossing the threshold, uninvited but recognized, familiar in all the ways I wish it weren't. I can almost feel the echo of your presence, the way your voice trembled around the edges, the way your hands didn't know whether to reach out or disappear into fists. I tell myself I don't miss you, I tell myself I've moved past the ache, but the truth is there are pieces of you living in places inside me I don't dare visit unless the night grows quiet enough to hold me together. And tonight is too quiet. Tonight the walls seem to lean in, the air holds its breath and time stretches itself thin, until all that's left is the beat of my heart, trying to remember what it sounded like before it learned your rhythm. If you walked in right now, if your shadow touched the floor the way it used to, I don't think I'd stand up, I don't think I'd run to you, I don't think I'd speak, I think I'd simply look at you like someone recognizing the wound they've spent years trying to understand. Because you earned my heartbreak, you were the silence after it, you were the space between who I was and who I had to become to survive losing what I never fully had. I imagine you standing there, eyes down, hands trembling, carrying all the apologies you never learned how to say. And maybe for the first time I would be the one acceptance. And some loves aren't meant to be salvaged, they're meant to be carried as proof that we once felt something real. But you're not here, you're nowhere close, only the memory of you. Thin, fragile, persistent, moves through the room like a ghost searching for a door it cannot open. I close my eyes and let the ache rise, not to chase it away, but to honor it, because loving someone who never stayed is its own kind of truth. The quiet truth, the lonely truth, but still a truth. Maybe one day when your heart grows tired of pretending it isn't haunted, you'll trace the ache back to its beginning and realize it never belonged to loneliness at all. It belonged to us, to the story we were too afraid to finish writing, to the moment we walked away from something that might have saved us if we'd given it the chance. Until then, I sit here in this dim, breathless silence, letting the night unravel me, one slow heartbeat at a time. And I whisper into the darkness a truth I've kept hidden from even myself. You are not the love of my life, but you were the love that changed its shape. Some nights feel like a confession I never meant to speak. The darkness folds itself around me like it knows exactly where the cracks in my heart are, pressing just softly enough to remind me that healing and hurting can live in the same breath. And somewhere in that breath your name stirs again, slow, heavy, like a memory waking from a long sleep. I don't call for it, I don't chase it, I don't ask it to stay, but it does, it always does. I sit in the dim hush of the room, watching the shadows drift, as if they're searching for something I've already lost. The air feels thick tonight, like a truth that's lowering itself onto my shoulders without asking permission. And the truth is this: I learned to live without you, but not without the echo you left behind. Your absence has a sound, soft, aching, steady like a heartbeat. I was never meant to hear this clearly. It murmurs through the darkened rhythms my soul recognizes before my mind does. And every time it reaches me, I feel that familiar pull, gentle enough to be forgiven, deep enough to never be forgotten. About the way you existed in the spaces between words, how your silence was a language only my heart seemed to understand. You never said much, but your eyes carried storms you refused to name. And I memorized the weather of you without ever learning how to protect myself from the rain. If you stepped into this room now, quiet and uncertain, I wonder if the night would shift, if the air would tighten, if the truth would rise rise between us like a tide we always feared would drown us. I wouldn't run, I wouldn't speak, I'd simply let the moment breathe the way I never let myself breathe. When you were here and everything felt too fragile to touch, maybe I would reach for your hand, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe love isn't measured in the things we dare to touch, but in the things we're too afraid to break. And we were always more fragile than we pretended to be. But you're not here, you're somewhere out there, living a life I don't get to witness, carrying a heart I was never allowed to hold fully. And I am here in a room that remembers you more honestly than I'm willing to admit. I exhale slowly, letting the night seep into the places you once softened. It doesn't hurt like it used to, it just sits there quiet and familiar, like a shadow that learned how to stay without darkening anything. Maybe that's what love becomes when time stops arguing with it. Not a wound, not a fire, but a quiet presence that refuses to disappear. Someday you might feel the same ache you left in me, a sudden heaviness, a breath caught too quickly, a memory rising without permission. And if you do, don't fear it, it's just the echo of something we never finished, a reminder that some hearts never stop meeting each other, even after the story ends. Until then, I sit with the night as my witness, letting the darkness hold me the way you never learned how to, completely, quietly, without asking me to be anything but honest. And in that honesty, in that trembling space between longing and acceptance, I whisper the truth I keep only for the hours when the world is asleep. I didn't lose you, I lost the future I thought we might grow into, but the part of you that stayed behind, the part no one else sees, still lives in the softest corner of who I am. When the night is gentle